Okay, it started recording. So let me share my screen to you guys. So yesterday I have logged in to the system. So what my current credential for you guys is this thing. Hmm. Admin at essentially .com and training at 1 to 3 is the credentials. I'm giving in this chat window. Guys are able to see this? Let me send it. So what is URL would be login.salesforce.com. Okay, that is an what do you say? It's the login URL. Using this login.salesforce.com. Can you guys quickly log into this? If you ask OTP, then I can give OTP and then you can set the password not required anymore. So that whenever you wanted to log into the admin and then check what quickly it's happening, you can refer this to this org. Ideally, you need to have your own personal org. So we go to developer.salesforce.com. So you have to have your own account. So that account would be useful in future state for you only. Let's say you are giving an administration certification or a developer certification, whatever. They will ask you, give me the credential of your org. So at least one personal org should be tied to you. So that means you guys are really practicing and then taking an exam. Okay, let me tell to you. Mm. Oh, hold on. It should be one by one. First, because it assumes both are same login. You getting? Opening a Gmail. Now, first one. 63917. Can you try, Kumar? 63917. So one is went to who is Windows 10? Okay, now you try again, Raj. No, no, again I'll get it. Do you have an option called resend somewhere? Because it has, yeah, do it. Because see, both are using the same credential means it assumes that you have logged in two times and which is not reached. So you're, hey, yeah, I got it. 76742. Yeah. So now do one thing. There is a check mark called as never ask a password for or never ask OTP for the system. That is good. And that's okay. I will isol what is it? I will bypass the URL to you guys because ideally often we cannot go with this content, right? So let me go to admin and bypass. Anyone can log into system without OTP, so that I'll do it. So I thought of doing in front of you guys so you would understand how to bypass things. So like you guys, I'm also logging in. So you are seeing my screen, right? I say I don't want to register my phone. So look at this. They already given a domain for me. Say centrally they've got it. So to bypass, what I should do is I should go to profiles. Which particular user we are logging in. So he matters. So that guy is system administrator. So search with yes. This is system administrator. See, likewise we have a number of profiles. I'll tell you what his profile is. So like I am the user who logged in and I own a profile of system administrator because I maintain the system. And let's say whoever the org who is the creator would be always a system administrator. Let's say you try to go tomorrow create a self org for yourself. So you would be the system admin for that particular org. Getting? So likewise, I am the system administrator here, and we all are logged into the same credentials, right? So this is the profile. Under this, as many users we can have. This is one such profile. Let's say manage is a profile. I can have n number of managers to my profile. Manage nothing but users. Getting? So this is a profile. Whoever log has a user access to the system administrator, he will be having complete access. So complete to the system. So there's a IP login IP ranges. So what I want to do is, if you guys log in from anywhere, shouldn't have any issues. So I would not. So I'm just setting all the ranges of IP, which if you guys can log in. So thereafter, it shouldn't ask any questions to you. It should allow you to log in, and no OTP is required anymore. Guys, getting? So likewise, we have so many profiles. We have 10 plus profiles, you think. So each profiles, if you go like give like this, 002 So then such profiles over users have been associated. So that particular users are logging in. So it never asks a password or OTP for them. Sorry, it asks a password, but it never asks OTP for them. A two-factor authentication is not required for them. Got it? Okay. Since this is will be a quick session, so I think interaction is required. I think so. Like you say yes or no, so that we can move on to the next quickly. Are you okay with this? Because understanding is a really important thing here, because we need to be very attentive and then say yes, no. So that we would be now. I would understand that we are going on the same page. So let me do. So this is the credentials we have for administrative credentials. So did you guys come up with any stories that what application shall we start with? Based on that, I'll just prepare a worksheet where this is the project we're gonna do. I will talk in project terms, not in terms of an what I say like a training session. And it's a blood bank thing. So did you guys get a chance to check some other application? Even though it is little complex, also is fine. So no problem. No problem. Mm. Yeah. No problem. No problem. Mm. So database. But referring to this org is fine, right? Sorry, what is that? What is coming here? So referring to this data models are fine, no? So no any issues with this, right? So this website has a pretty good, at least the ER diagrams where it represents what project how it could be. So it's mm, 36. Okay. Subscription based business. Second column 36. Customers and financial service. This is also good. When you talk about majority about insurance and stuff. But this looks like very high level, and we need to get more of the, let's say, customer master centrics. Let's see. I think we have to frame one thing here. Like say customer location staff and their events. So they can go collect the payments or documents, bank statement, insurance policies, and then these guys will come. Events are associated to our products, and they can do either banking or they can do insurance stuff. Okay, this is also good. Now, who would be suppliers to us? Suppliers are the another channels of a business, and ideally we are the company you think. Like say we are the suppliers, and we have the products. Like say in ideally in India we have LIC or any Tata Insurance we have, right? So they are the supplier, and we have our products. So we have products with either with the insurance we have, and also we lend the loan. I think either the investing or retailing stuff related loan we provide. See, either like a private banks, any banks you take, Citibank or any S Bank or SDFC, ICICI, all these banks would be a suppliers basically. So these guys always they have two channels where they lend the loan, and they also have insurance policies. Correct. So who are okay? Though I have all banking and insurance stuff, who are my target things are the customers are the target guys. And ideally we don't directly communicate to people. Um, even though I have campaign things where I run a campaign and ask for people, do you want a personal loan, do you want a retail loan? So people would tend to call. So though they have brokers to do the stuff at least, but our targets are customers. And if the customer asks to come to some location, and some event should be created. So why these events are is, so the meeting point would be there, what is start and end time should be there. Within this so and so duration I should complete the deal, or else I have to cancel the deal. So whether I have dealing with a particular customers, I need to collect their respective documents. I have to verify the documents. Only then I can proceed either to give a loan or to proceed insurance. So if the document is invalid, we cannot proceed, right? In a loan or any money related stuff, documents are very important. So I think that is really they are talking here. So I think this is good. So, Raj, are you okay with this? Hello? Yeah, we're fine. So then, shall what is the company of these company name of this particular company, or the data model which you're choosing now? What should I have the insurance company name or a banking lender name? So, would you like to start a bank? Okay, quickly, let's go. Firstly, let's create an app. Okay, for proceeding to this, let's assume that we are going to start the project, and this is a basic kickoff. A 2 minutes talk, guys. How early RFPs would be done? A request for proposals from a particular. Many companies would come and give a proposal to this particular project, and who will bid and who will win, and who won, and they will be proceeding next, right? So likewise, I just gonna take a note on here. So let's assume we three people in a project, and we have to deliver this. Resource three project is um, okay. Let's give some bank name. Uh, I so let's put this as international bank. Go any country, you will have this. You can withdraw the banks, or I can have a loan or insurance. International bank, or we simply call as IB bank. So international bank or IBP, international private bank, IPB. Fine. So this is a bank name, we got it. So now let's say this bank is gonna start newly, and they also hunting for the softwares to build, and they already given timeline and the schedule and what needs to be done, and part of the application what are things to be present. So objective is, so they wanted to have a banking which includes retail plus lend. So which includes retail plus lend, retail, personal. So any loan they should be able to create. A loan type is basically retail or a personal loan or so and so. Many would be banking, and they're expecting plus insurance. So you can no again extend with the mortgage or something as you go, but at least these two things will start. Anything is like related to banking and insurance is a pretty good thing to have, and this will fall under. Um, it will fall under the vertical of finance. So correct. So there are a couple of verticals, right, where we say um, healthcare, finance, and e-commerce, so on. No, energy and utilities. These are the verticals majority we have, and this falls under the finance vertical, right? Because we are dealing with the finance and insurance stuff, right? So there may be interview questions like which are the verticals that you worked on. So you can say I have my recent project is was on finance thing. Finance was the vertical, and as majority dealing into the insurance and banking stuff. So prior to this, if you have any resume which is already prepared and which you are noting on to the some banks or anything related to insurance, if you work, I think you can match the scenarios here. So let's say you assume that you have been put on a resume as three projects you worked on, two projects you worked on Salesforce, if you think, and if your CV is constructed like that, and then you should be able to present that, right? Maybe your CV and your what do you say, your explanation should match, correlate. It shouldn't go different. So likewise, please assume so you are make sure that one of the project which you have at least should be in a finance. Let's say there's through two three projects you had which is like different domains. One of them should be a finance, so that you can wellly construct these things on your own whenever they're asking such questions. You can narrow down. Let they ask whatever, but you can narrow down to the scenario where banking and insurance. Hey, I have worked on the scenario like these. Maybe you're asking question would relate to these. Are you okay with this? You can ask them and then you can proceed. So that way you also would be comfortable, and so maybe the asking question persons who are they will turn at least their mindset to a finance side, because we cannot give option to them. And when you give an option to them, they will ask a number of things. But if narrow down to your option, so you are under the safer side. So that is the best thing to do. Okay, now, okay, this is the project name. Object is we have to build these two things, and vertical is finance. And what else? Um, okay, so we are good to start here. And this is the project proposals we got it. And let's assume that we presented how banking things would happen. Um, let's say we had a simple demo model where our company is presented to international private bank company, so they are okay with the design. They okay to proceed with us since the price and the cost and the duration. Ideally, this would be there. Estimate estimates will be there. So in that estimates, the duration will be mentioned. So duration you can judge. Uh, It'll let's say minimum of 3 weeks. Like how we training, no, like that. I'm assuming that's 3 weeks. It could be more than that also. At least this type of project will go for years, 1 or 2 years minimum. So I'm just giving an estimation of rough sketch of three. Duration is three, and the resource three who would be could be a dev, lead, and architect or a delivery manager. So this type of three people should be there. Of course, dev, lead, or testers. Of course, another role would be required called tester. Assume let's say we all are doing it. We can't pull the more resources also here. We are three only. So let's assume four, and we have a test resource one. Lead is for development lead. This guy is developing and this guy is testing, and he's a delivery man or an architect who designs the systems where what need to be present. And these both communicate and they get the things. So there could be business analyst also. So we can expand the team as we go, or else this guy only can do as a lead or a BA role. Okay. So ideally, these are doing as a lead role. This is getting about the system design from the client directly. Okay, assume our team is four, so maybe we may be three. Always the delivery architect manager will not directly be involved in the project. Maybe these guys are communicating with these guys. So hardly they come in scope only when the delivery is happening. Let's say and think in that perspective. Now let's say what technology we have to use it. So this is the presentation we got it. Technologies or skill set involved. Skill set involved. Part of this training would be, yes, of course, to build this, you need to know about the data management. Why data management? This talks about mm, creating the objects. Objects in Salesforce nothing but tables, and then you find a relationship between each table. Let's say I have a option here called as suppliers and a products. How do I correlate these suppliers and a customers and a products? And they have a banking and insurance type. That's crazy. How do I relate this? How one to one is connected? How I can have a, one or more products, and even the products can differ another two types. How this all I can deal is pretty good. Important is data management. Data management in that specific thing is objects and relationship. You need to understand how a table to another table is got linked with. That is one important thing, and what type of relationship they're holding it. So that is again very important. Looking at this diagram, so this is pretty important. We see we need to know this particular skill set to understand the schema. And the second one would be all this would be an admin stuff. Don't mind. So this would be an admin stuff. So because we think that of a project we are presenting and then we have to hunt for right resource, right? And this skill set should match, or else we would be in a problem. Then again, of course, we have created the layouts and objects and fields and relationship. So next thing would be page layouts and record types. So why page layout and record types is I know whenever I create a object or a table, I would have at least one or two fields. But one or two fields not suffice this requirement. I don't know. We don't have any particular fields here. Getting? So each and every object table will have a more number of fields. What is the fields you think? Banking. Okay, what type of banking gonna give? You're gonna money lend. How much amount? What is interest? What is it tenure? So like that, it'll keep going on. So that is the reason just we are taking this option. And when you go to each product, look at this. Each product has a different types of things. Banking will have a different UI. Insurance will have a different UI, right? So what we call is for this layout should be different, and for the insurance also layout should be different. Getting? So when the layout is different at a product level when I'm trying to create, so it should give me two options, either banking or insurance. So that type of concept called as record types. Record types is associated to a page layout. It's just like you are choosing when the moment you call to some call center or something, press one to choose this option, saving bank. Press two to choose a credit card option. So you choose options, right? So that is basically you think record types. The moment when you press, you get into a one number section, right? So that is basically page layout. Because the moment you press one, you went to that layout. The moment you press you two, you go to different layout. So record types and page layouts are pretty important. And yes, we may have a validations would be written here. So workflows, workflows, validation, or a process builders. So these things would be involved. Why? To do few automatic stuff. Let's say a bank loan someone is applied. I need to fire an immediate email to that guy. Thanks for applying for this particular bank loan. Someone is trying to apply for an insurance. Okay, take it away. Thanks notes for them. Or someone is trying to claim and is firstly is creating a case. I have to say that thanks for reaching to us. So like that, workflows and validations and possibilities are required. In the workflows only, we'll have this all this email fire stuff. Validation is something that we're checking. Let's say you're going to create a loan. You're applying for a loan. You cannot give a date of 1 week back. Let's say today you are applying. It should be from today only. You getting? I can change the date back to 1 week back, but you shouldn't allow the system to do it. Ideally, date is a simple field. I can modify, go to and from wherever I want. But you should set a validation saying that if from today only I'll allow you to save a record. Those are some validations you do on a data. For example, I'm entering an email ID where I just give abct@gmail.com. So you should tell that this is invalid email. So guys, getting so basically validation in the sense it's a data cleanup activity where you are very sure about the data which you want to store. And then the process builder which you have is again this helps to automate the stuff. Let's say workflows are very simple. The advanced to the workflows are process builders. That is a key term which I can say. It is more advanced compared to these guys. So another one we have which called as flows, and these are very rarely used. Why flows are used? This is used like a transcript, maybe guided um, screens. Whenever you see, the moment go to any product, you see press one to see this, press two, step three. Some guided screens would be there, no, for you guys. So like that we can create using flows. So what is workflow if you ask? So there are emails to fire, there are tasks to fire, there are like outbound messages to fire, and any field you want to update, we all use these workflows. Basically, on a creation of a record, you want to do something. I have applied for a loan. I have to fire a thank you email to him. So like that, this stuff will go to workflows. Flows are nothing but you will have a screens. Each every screens will be there. You will move from one screen to another screen. Getting it is basically screen-based navigation or a guided navigations we can say. No, by looking itself, I'm just making it out. So I'm just looking at this. Then I assume, okay, I need to create all these tables because it's a fresh project. I know what we have to do. So I say that this is a project we have to do. So as a developer, what you have to think through, or architect, how do you think through? Firstly, we need to have a tables, supplier table, a product table, banking, insurance, all these independent tables we require, and how one is connected to another things we have to think through. So okay, firstly, how this diagram itself is created, if you ask, yes, yes, we have to from our architect why this guy is there. So this architect is there, no? So he would be at the very beginning based on the concept someone told. So he would have been drawn this. Getting so some XY international bank company came and asked you saying that I want banking and insurance to be present. Now take the feedback of what banking we required. We required retail and personal loans, etc. And we also require insurance. So insurance again could be any number of types. So get me some design with this, then we will sit and work through what type of project let's build. So this is a simple ask. This architect has to scratch his head, and you have to come up with this such model, saying that okay, this is how your product will be, this is how the people should handle. So he should come up with such knowledge, and then this is presented to client, and they are okay with that. Then it comes to the offshore or a lead who would be there, who would communicate to developers or testers. Let's say, okay, we have such a big system. We're gonna do a small by pieces, which we can call as sprints. And each and every sprint, we're gonna build each and every area, and then we're gonna keep connecting, and then finally we're gonna do this. Okay, so yeah, go ahead, go ahead. Huh. So ideally for a base, see, you are joining a company, and then at the very beginning only you will not know everything, right? So the same way, even when you get a project, some team, pre-sales team is already there. So what this pre-sales team is doing is, so they are the always their job is to go find the new requirement or an existing requirement, anything is fine. Altogether, what they do is, so they get the concept first, and every pre-sales team will have the A-level people, like maybe a CEO is involved, or a partner is involved, or architects are involved. Big people should be there in that particular things. Why? Because so that's a high-level presentation at the very beginning. They will deal with the company, and when they're doing it, so they should present the niche thing about a product, how they understand, because those guys understand verticals very clear. So they don't care about the product. They understand verticals very clear. Let's say today come with you see and say banking application required. So those guys know what banking application would do end to end. So they are the right persons to talk very beginning and get the project. Why? Because they know complete stuff about the banking stuff. Along with them, there would be an architect to present the how this could be done in this such skill sets or technologies. So he will design Based on the vertical ideas, he will present this in this technology. If you do, it is cost effective, guys, and this is how we can do. And we also have a team of offshore, so they do very good with this. So he will present those. So the moment all this done, then we are good with the no project to kickstart. Okay. So let's say the architect is already given a note saying that, hey, no offshore team, so we may require all the skill set. Please go quickly, go do brush up or learn something, and then be ready. The project is on the way. They are just presented. Even like say these companies, right? So they give a 2 months or 1 month chance to present the high level demo, not like 100% like working project. It should be like a demo. So that way, demo presented also would give this confidence to such clients. So this is all ideal case. In maybe a new project, this is the ideal case. When an existing project is there, so already data management everything has been done. So let's say in this everything is done. A new piece which is coming is life insurance and a pet insurance, where the new model you're going to add it to the insurance stuff. So for life insurance, what are the other fields you would require? What are the simple components required to build on? So you would be focusing on independent on these small terms. So this is something like enhancement you're doing to a some existing project. So where you don't worry about already the pre-structure of how it is built and what it is built. So they will give an idea on a KT how this is all built and existing system we have, and your piece is to develop the life insurance or a pet insurance. So that is you are doing a maintenance activity and you are doing an enhancement activity there. Getting? So let's say if it is a what the production support would be. I'll tell that also. So since I'm talking more about the development, what if you are getting a production support? Let's say all the system is already built. Now directly these customers are looking into it. Yeah, that is the very beginning I've opened this because this is a project overview. So project overview, no one can easily understand it. Oh my God, what is this? What is this again? Is my screen is get paused? Okay. Not it. No, okay, moving now. All right. Yeah. To understand the schema is very important. So that is the beginning. I have put this as a data management and object relationship. Page layouts. Why? Because how many layouts we have, what type of layouts we do, all this. So those will look in. And any automation has been happened, you would see this. I would see the guided screens. Like IVR, how you have no? Like say press option one, go to next screen, press two, go to next screen. So even in this we can build like this. Record tips is helping you to press one or two option, go to the respective layout. That's all. So these guys will have press one, press two, you will have sub screens. Then to go good with the flows. You getting? If my question is very simple at the very beginning, choose a product. Okay, while creating a product new record, I am choosing an option either bank or insurance. So that is good with the record types. When I say create a product, next, another step, next, another step. Let's assume at most 5 6 steps are involved to create a record if you think. So then it is good to go with the flows because so many number of screens you have to answer on and then you have to go on. I don't know where you will exactly see this when you apply for a bigger company like IBM or some XYZ company. So you have to go to their website, upload the resume. So then you will face this. Fill out the basic information, fill out the family information. Next screen, fill out the educational information. Then next, fill out the what is say experience, professional experience information. Then upload the file. So like you have so many steps for that. If you want to build in Salesforce with the flows is pretty okay because here more number of configuration you will not have. Sorry, more number of configurations you can have. Maybe with the fields whatever you have, you can drag and drop to the screen one and then screen two. We can go on where the flows would help. If they really want too many customization, then you have to come to some lightning or no visual force page where you have to have each page designed such way to get the stuff. So in that case, flows would be used. Otherwise, if you want to generate any reports that you can use, and next is OWD, very important. What is this OWD called? Org wide default settings. Who sees what? In a banking thing, who sees what is very, very important. So one more point I want to add here is approval process. Why approval process? I'll tell you. Because since it's a banking or insurance application, someone has applied for a loan. Let's say 1 crore in Indian price, 1 crore he has applied for. But what is his eligibility? So he is eligible for only for 80 lakhs if you think 20 more lakhs is not eligible. So in that case, the bank is asking for the particular branch manager should sign off saying that on his trust we're gonna allow you to give it or else we're not gonna take the risk. Getting at that time, so the bank branch manager should have a approval for him. See anything behind your expectation or behind your eligibility, someone should be approving it, right? Hello, yeah. So that is a case where approval process would be involved. Each record, some price you given, you applied for a loan, okay, the amount is exceeded, so then it will go automatically to an approval process. So those someone of the particular bank manager should approve for it. So only then I'll allow. So this also will see through this process. Approval process must for this and validation is must process. This majority I think these all will be using it. We would touch all the phases of this. I don't know flows we will touch, but all these phases would be for sure be required. But I'll just give overview of how flows would work. So don't mind. So we'll just but this is very important things to know in terms of insurance or banking. This is absolutely required. And you would have a reports of saying that who have taken the loans recently and how much of the amount we have lended this month, how much of the amount we got interest of this month. So you can have a different types of reports and dashboards which helps your company to say that hey this is the revenue that we are getting this month, this year, so on. So who the OWD says that security, who sees what. Who sees what more than that I can say is access or open up access to users. You getting specifically why we say OWDs? Let's say I'm a bank guy, sales guy who have applied, who are hunting for the people for to apply for a loan, and people applied for a loan for let's say 20 lakhs or something. So my job is done. I have came and I entered the information to the application system, and I've generated this some reference number I've given to so the person who applied for it. So next thing is something again they are asking for a no, can I get it more 20 to 25 lakhs? Can I increment this? Yes, of course we can do. So he goes and modifies the same data. But this guy is once he submit for an approval, so thereafter this guy will not able to go and approve it unless and until where he has an authorized to do it. But in ideal case, he submitted, next level his manager only can approve it. Getting? So he cannot go and approve that particular record. Only his manager can do. So how do we differentiate this? Only this guy is created. Only this guy has to approve. How we design this? Using this OW only we can do it. Getting? Guys, it's very important about the security. Let's say we among three are there. So someone would be a sales rep, someone would be manager. Sales guys, whatever he does, manager can see the records. Correct, right? How can you see someone else's data? I can as being a rep, I cannot go see my manager data, I cannot see my CEO's data. But the CEO can see all of us data. So that's the ideal state, right? So this hierarchy of looking at the data is also very important. And if that something is misses out, it will be chaos. Because what if this guy is going to approve for a system? He approved and the bank amount got delivered and all of them has escaped. So these are all the things shouldn't happen. Or it is a true data security where I not to so how much of amount is approving it. So one person should not show another person's data. Let's say we all are three sales rep. We all are working independently, but I should not see you what you're working on. I will not see another person what is working on. But a manager can see all of us three what independently we are all working on. Make sense? So this comes to a OWD where security we talk about. So for this building this project, these are the few important stuffs which I feel so. Other things are fine. Other things are one more point where I can add is profiles, permission, set, and their associated users. Why users I'm saying is without users these applications are nothing. Users are only who we say manager, sales rep, all this to some extent we say to particular users. All these users are tied up to some profiles. So we'll get into this more about. And I'm saying these are the six important stuff. Without this application wouldn't work. Getting? Okay. So now what shall we do is so onto the syllabus perspective. Let me jump first and see. See what I have to do is I have to correlate it with Service Cloud. I have to correlate with the marketing thing. I have to correlate with Sales Cloud. Irrespective whatever the project we're doing, bank or insurance, but I have to correlate with all these projects. 7, 8, 9. What this is doing? Sales, service, marketing. A banking also can have sales, service, marketing, right? So we will come to that. So no problem. So this relationship we're gonna do it, and then user roles profiles we also see gonna see this. I think pretty tomorrow we have to start with the 2 hours. Then it will be good to cover till chapter 6. Fine. So let me just give this no chapter 3 and then wrap up the things. So what we got overall today is we are able to understand what application we're going to create and what are the key things that is important. So whatever I explain teach or not, but please be sure onto these 6 topics, which is very important in terms of working real time to a project or for interview or anything. Out of the box of the six, if they ask, they are very less. But this is really working knowledge is important. These are the working related knowledge, very important. Getting? Because something we're gonna hit and then see what's all this we're gonna see. Other things are like maybe unimportant stuff, maybe very few things they do it. Let's say data load activity or see the logs, what is happening. So we can see that in the later stage. But this is pretty important things. Okay, on the syllabus perspective, personal setup is same. Personal setup, I just open my system. So this is a user who logged in. Is a batch 32? Yeah, no, didn't get command. What is that? So, yeah. hmm Hmm. No, no. It's a good question. Let me repeat the question so that will be very clear. And you are asking, so I'm into the screen where system admin and profiles all I could see. To come to the screen, do I need to require a separate password or a separate credentials required? So ideally, what will happen is, if answering to this question, you have joined a company, so they will give you admin access directly. Why? Because you are being a developer or an admin, but you are who dirties your hand by touching the code and see what is happening. So for you, we cannot give a basic level access. So we will give admin access only. So admin access means I have to go to this profile. Ideally, what people from a company they will do is go to system and profile. They will create a new user. So here your name and other credentials I'll give, and which role is like say I don't have an admin here. So let's assume some role called admin we have here, and the license I'm choosing Salesforce, and I'm choosing system admin as system administrator. So then I give all your credentials. Credentials sense email, username, first name, all this I give, and then I just click on create. So then you would got an email saying to say that verify. your account and you're going to set the password for it. So there you go. So thereafter you have now access to every other systems which you have inside here. Got it? It's only one time process where of course they have to create. Who is they? So company who is actually managing the stuff. Either in the current state people are like from the let's assume international bank, they have their own technical team, they are creating for you. Or you being you join the company, your technical lead is creating on behalf of you. So we can never create our own self a user. We have to create for someone else. So that's ideal state. Yeah, of course, yes. So let's say you are being a sales rep. So for a sales rep, I will have a different profile, maybe standard user. So you will not have access to go create the check the code, go modify the field value what it is. You will not have a access to configuration things. Getting? You are having only an access to application where you see Netflix, you see data, how videos are playing. Oh, fine, okay with this. So that's all your access is. But if I give a Netflix admin where you can go configure few more steps, so that is different, right? It depends on what profile I'm gonna give to you. Okay, so hmm, yeah, good question. Good question. So your question is, can I get a multiple level of access though I am an admin or I am a developer like that if you think? So answering to this is yes. So we are always a company would hold one single role. Single role means you joined as a developer or you joined as a lead or you joined as a manager. That's how we treat you. So we cannot be a manager plus developer. You cannot be a manager plus sales guy. So always it is one thing, right? So we say manager in the sense, of course you can do a sales rep job because you are having high level of manager level access. You getting? If you have a sales rep, but I cannot do manager level and nano system admin level. So we have narrowing down to you. Say that what is your scope of your work, and tomorrow you join as a developer where I give a system admin access. You can do more than whatever others can do. You are the master of that particular system. You getting? So admin can do the max of anyone has the access to. But we have the all the level of access, but we're not restricted to do so. Getting? So we are helping the people to make the best things. We are not to destroy it. So what to do is we will be very cautiously handling the system. You got my point? Yeah. So as of course we have handled having access to entire system, so we shouldn't misuse it. So otherwise, if we see we can see CEO's data, we can see anyone's data. So it depends on the level of access we are getting it. But we cannot have two things at the same time. If I say manager, of course sales rep no access you will have. What sales rep can do, you also can do. What other level sales more than sales rep, a sales lead is there. What sales lead is he doing? That same job you also can do because you are ahead of them. Whatever they can do, you can also do. But what you do, they cannot do. Get it? So that is the whole point. So those things we have to very clear on setting the role hierarchy. Role hierarchy, I'll get to the point when we say who is the lower to you, who is another lower to you. So the role hierarchy we have to set through. So that's another important things we have to set. So till now you guys pretty clear, right? Like we have set up an org, we have come here, and we are having a profile though it will be. So we have to see through this. So my subject syllabus is according to now. I have to give a personal setting overview. So let me give that overview and then we will wrap. So what is this personal settings when you say you yourself are a user who logged in? So I can have access to anything. I can go and just check. But personally, what you have an access to see that, like say you have logged into Facebook and Instagram. What you do is you just check your own account, right? Or if you logged into LinkedIn also, you have your own profile to check, right? In the profile, what will be? It is having your own information, what to see, what not to see to others people. Your phone number can be shared or your profile photo can be shared. That all you restrict, right? So basically that is your account. So likewise in Salesforce also you have your own personal settings to show up. So that is what we call as settings. It will be on your name. So the moment this is my name, I clicked here, I can see settings here. So you guys getting? So this is my personal settings where I see all my personal information here. So this is my name, last name, email, which is given, address, phone number. All this has been fine. And if you want to just get into advanced user details, to wherever I have an access, I can see through advanced details in sense it will show still more information. Do I am involved in some other permissions? Any other groups added me? Any other membership I own? Any other teams I have been part of? Who is my manager? Any other apps I have been connected to a third party? Do I have any associated mobile apps installed with this? And my login history. The past login of 6 histories it will tell you where 6 months history. Look at this. So I have browsed from the India today, and then I have asked you to guys to log in. So you guys have logged in here, and see, look at this. So only we should be very careful on giving credential to someone else. So in support projects, what happened? No, like sorry, support projects. No, maybe you guys have been hiring for a support. So then your company, let's say you're newly joined to a company. So they given all the credentials to you. You logged in. Support means someone is no shadowing you from the India or anywhere else because you have been new to Salesforce for the first 3 months, let's assume. So your company is giving your credentials. You do not give your credential to some support guys because they will log in from India or somewhere else. They will be showing a location here. Guys, getting very important. So what happens? This guy gives you credential and they logs in on his own time and then sees, man, it's in India. Now assume you have been working in US and your company is US. Now how in India will be coming as a location here? Yeah, yeah. Someone can see. You cannot delete this data. It is like it is stamped. Someone has stamped here. That means with your credentials, someone is logged in from India. So that means what? You are getting a support from India, and it is more on a privacy leak data where your credentials been shared to someone, and they are logged into a system, and then they are viewing it. So at this time, they may fire the resource. Getting so we should be very very careful on to the credential sharing. So not to share at all, where basically you can share your screen and then show you log in yourself. You be United States only. Don't change this. Do not give your credentials. Basically, I'm saying do share like this. Whatever you do, let him give a screen access. You can again come and say see the systems whatever. Fine, but do not allow your location to get changed like this. So basically, don't share the credentials. Since we have all having the same access of credentials, I am logging from India and US. This is fine. Or let's say our people of offshore fleets are like who are working from India, then I agree. What if I see a Sri Lanka here? And what if I see a Malaysia here? These are people who never been part of us. And how can you go there? Okay, still fine. At least they will ask a justification for you. Hey, I've seen the location as Malaysia or something else. Then you can say that hey, it's my native place. I've been moved to my Malaysia and then I'm from there. I'm connecting it. Okay, fine. You've been to your home country. Still that is fine. But unless proper justification you don't have, simply India if you see, then it's something fish in that. Getting? So be careful on that. Anytime we can track this. Unlike otherwise, if you see who is the advanced user you seen and approver settings in sense, who would be my approver? That you can see. You cannot modify, but you can see. Likewise, I'm a sales rep. Who is my manager? Who is my actual approver? Who is your counselor? Who is buddy? Who is a basically when you join a company, right? Someone to be there always to track you what you're doing. Or else how can I give you performance appraisals and all? Someone should be there to track you. And you have been always let's say you are applying for a leave also someone should approve, right? So like that, someone would be there always for an approver settings. So delegate approver, who is my manager, all that will be given in the very beginning stage. So since you are an admin, so you are able to modify, you have an edit screen here. Unlike otherwise, you would just see what it is, who can do what changes. It's all profile level access what we have been given to. Because you cannot just choose your own manager. So that is one thing. Receive approval request emails. Only if I'm an approver, only I'm a delegate approver, or you not never expect an approval request for anyone. So you can choose setting such thing. So authentication system, like which are this external system connected to Salesforce. So since we are being an admin, right? So we are the owner of this particular system. So we have given a full level of access where it says some third party is connected to you or not. I never worked on with them. So you say that you know connect, so no anything says. Let's say you are connected to SAP system with your credentials, then it shows here. This is the SAP system, you connected from Salesforce to there. So these are the little informations you can see. So you can change your password from here only. So which city you born is I've given Bangalore. So and the password is training at 1 to 3. And this you can give. So connections. Again, this will tell you any other OAuth connections you have or any other third party account you have been linked to and you have been authorized or not. So all this connection details will show you here. So another important thing is um, grant login access. Very important thing. What is this? So you are allowing some of your admins to log into your system and check. Ideally, what happens is, let's say sales rep. This login is basically you think a sales rep, and he's facing some issues. He's facing some issues, and we have been seeing through from the application. It is not replicable. I think what okay maybe he's logging traditionally has an issue. So then I'm asking for him, please share your screen. That is one way. After log into his system and should see. His system is what? His login credential have to see. So you will never share username and password. But somehow have to log into his system and see. How? So we are asking for a support. So where is allowing 1 week or 3 days access to your administrator. That means what? Next to his name there will be a login link could be created. The moment you click on login, you would be directly landing to his login credentials without giving any username and password. Getting? So you will log in as him, as you have logged in as that particular XYZ sales rep. You will see whatever the screen has been there. But what is idle statement is this guy should give access to this particular administrator. So what is the Salesforce.com support? Something directly we are communicating to Salesforce and we are asking help, their help to log into our system and see what is happening. Getting? So I'll show you this thing where I just go to oh my god setup have to go users. Look at this. These are all the users, right? So next to this user there will be login. Uh, uh, what is it? No hyperlink would be created if you are giving granting an access like this to your administrator. Let's say I'm a sales rep, I'm giving access 3 days to him. So next to this someone user would be login. So the moment you click login, their respective screen would be open and you'll be moved to that particular screen. On the top it says you have logged in as sales rep. So whatever he can do, the same UI screen that you can see. Now whatever he has said, no, that you can test through. And okay, then you can get to know, oh my god, this is the issue. Let me figure out later straight. So because why we require is all to understand or troubleshoot the people, we require this. So that is the thing which is grant login exercise. Where your company admin only cannot resolve. So then we have to get into a Salesforce support for it. So then you're giving access to them to log into your system and see. then we give this access. Fine. Basically, to assist our support issues only, we do this. Next is you can set your own time zone, which time zone you're part of, and you can set your you can see through your login history. Why you have to see login history is something that your credential is lost, but someone is logging on behalf of you. That is again a crazy thing, right? So you can see where and all my system has been logged in. So login history is again a good thing. Personal information. So this is the basic personal information we have. At the very beginning, the moment you got, this is the one which you got. Personal information. Advanced is it means more than this, which are the team you also are part of. So that will tell you. And these are the systems that we have logged in. Security Center will also tell you which IP you have logged in, are the session is currently active or not, everything that shows. See from a Windows 10 session is active. From Mac OS session is active. Windows 8 710, this is my PC logged in from India and this is my current session going on. So look at this. This level they'll tell you when the system is active, where, what, how, all this will tell you with along with the OS who logged in from which type of system. Now looking at this also we can easily make out. I know always you are a Windows 10 guy. Suddenly if someone logs in with Mac OS, so they have logged in with a different system, right? And different system, different country. So this all will be fishy to them. Why this guy is doing this? There will be a problem. So otherwise, all are simple. Your email settings, something you have, or any display layout you want to customize. So these are not much that important, but these personal informations are pretty important things for your communications. Along with the personal settings, there I would have marked something called as company information. So let me give just high level thing what is company is doing. When I say company information, it is all about these are to whom we created for. Organization name is Centrally, right? So actually it is now. It is not Centrally. It is International Private Bank. So this is the client we have now. Getting who is a primary contact? Why we say is the person who created this org would be a primary contact always. And so this is the organization name, International Private Bank. So their phone, fax, whatever you can have. This is all company related information. There are a couple of things, multiple currencies. What this currencies indicates, you can have a one or more currencies. Of course, international bank will have multiple currencies. Getting so again we're dealing with insurance stuff, right? So we'll have multiple currencies. Once you enable this, you cannot reclaim back. So we'll come to the later stage. Hmm. So these are few company related settings. Do you want to return no receive any sales newsletter from that particular company? All these are the questions we have. So ideally this is the company information where I've saved it. Anything wrong with this org also you have to connect to Salesforce, right? They will ask you give me the Salesforce org ID. So this is the Salesforce org ID. And which type of editions we are talking? We are having a developer edition. What do you mean developer edition? It's only for learning purpose. If you see anything as enterprise or unlimited edition, that means company has bought that particular edition and they would pay for a huge amount for it. And even they have pay as you go concept. So whatever the license they bought, they would pay for it. And do you see this instance AP24? What do you mean by AP24 is Asian Pacific region 24 server, server number 24. So like yesterday we see NS10, CS10, EU10, or different servers names if you see. So currently these particular systems are being installed in this particular server. Since it'll not change it. It'll not change because I have logged in from India. I have been created from India. So this is my instance resides here. If something goes wrong with this AP24, so then we'll be switch over to some other different servers. That ideally this service got failed over. So then we move to different instance. Getting? So those are would be automatically updated. Ideally, I reside in India, so I would be following to the Asian Pacific servers. If you have been created there, let's say you create a fresh org, you would see the instance would be NA something. Why? Because you have been residing in US regions. So based on your pin code, your servers would range. Why they do it? Basically, to improve the performance and the working things, we have to do that. Let's say I'm in India, I'm loading this URL, and which is load all the way from the US and get the results to me. It is too late. What do you say? It takes a little bit time. Whereas if I'm all been to my local area, it will be very faster. Connecting to a remote, there is a difference between connecting from a local. Getting? So that is the reason they find the IPs, postal codes based on to the nearest region they create the service. So that will be very fast to access. And we are basically the company is basically origin of such regions. Like say I have created a company with India region as a time zone and everything as a postal code as here. So best thing is to rely on to the country specific region service. That is also another point. Okay. Otherwise, currencies we have USD. You can change the currency at our level. How much you have used space, how much files we hold, any request, something that be coming from third party here. All this you can see in the company information. Yes, it's sometimes very very important is we are getting too many integration server systems which is exceeded the 15,000. Then you are the right person to come and see into this particular place where you should say that API request is exceeded. It happened last month for me where they were doing an integration service to Magento from a Salesforce to Magento. So Magento is doing a sales activity. There's a keep on leads getting generated and then it's all flowing to Salesforce. What happens? There is a too many requests to Salesforce. Each and every request is considered as a API request. So overnight it crossed 15,000. So thereafter no data flowed. The problem is API limit, which is the government Salesforce has given us 15,000 as max, is exceeded. Then we have to optimize the code, when to hit, in what batch we have to hit, how many records should flow. So then a different approach has been taken. Getting? So we can neglect any items. Maybe one or the other item would be somewhere it will be useful to us. Okay, whenever they say max or that is a limit that we have to be very keep following things. Even the data use spaces also they would have given for this developer as 5 MB. Behind the 5 MB, it will never save a record for sure. So it will say that I don't have an access. And otherwise, if you see business company or see business, how many number of holidays you have, all that settings you have. You can have a calendar settings. Say that okay in the calendar, which particular day that we are all working, all that we have in the settings here, and you can mark all days. Which financial year is also an important thing where we say from which month we start. In India, we say from April it starts for a government companies where every March to April that we have to pay for a tax. So which is the financial year that we'll have. Standard is something that always starts from Jan and ends by December. If you want to have a custom fiscal year, you can enable the custom fiscal year and you can start. Ideally, you will have your own way of understanding the custom fiscal years. Once it is enabled, you cannot disable it. So why custom fiscal year is people can go a different thing also. They can start in the mid of June and then start end by another April or May for the next year. It's all company perspective to when to start the fiscal year and when to end. And when they start with the fiscal years, they can also have a quarters. Four, four, 4 quarters they can have, 3 quarters they can have. It all depends them. So every quarter, what is the revenue they will release. So this is absolutely about a company. So they, whenever you're working in such finance systems, you have to see here as a fiscal year settings, and you can mark holidays whenever it is required, and you can mark the data protection, say that no one can access what data who have to see that you have to sign a privacy policy here. See, make data protection details between what this says is give access to data protection and privacy lead contact person account you're allowing it. I will allow these guys to see any private data here. I will not give any data to see here. So that is the two things we have. Why we see here is generally leads will have a person information, contacts will have a person information, Accounts will have a person's information sometime when it is a person account. So this is all typically having a person's information where basically customers data. Should I give access to that? Should I have a privacy policy in that? So they got these new things. So this all recently came when a big huge QoS was happening, right? Maybe Google also went to a court and they were answering to it, like what type of data that we store. Every company they store data, but what level of data to what extent we store? Are the customer signed off to okay and allowed to save it? So such policies all been brought little recently. So that is the point I'm just making here. Otherwise, we are good for today. So we have been set with the personal setup. You have been seen manage personal information, company information. So one, two, three chapters done. And also we've got into a project where called as International Private Bank. And so a few things of this very important. From tomorrow we'll see this. So we'll see create quickly a data management data flow. And I'll give an assignment to you guys also where two, three objects I'll create and I'll give a connection to it. How it works, I'll show you. So you have to create the rest of the things so that your hands-on also would be there. Okay. So maybe one or two page loads I'll create. The same page load configuration, what are the fields is there, you have to check through. So now majority of the things is we have eye level schema here. It doesn't mean that don't know what product means what in products what are the fields you need to have. So that we don't have. So for this we have to have a product master catalog if you click. So you will see in products what are the things we have. Okay. So like that we have to see how many fields is required under the product we have any other express systems we need to have all that we have to think. Anyway, I'll send this link to you guys. So it is for your referral. Please just go through when you're free. So it'll be useful to you guys also. I'll copy here. And also I would try to upload these things into a Google Drive where a sheet I would create. I will upload the document there. So you can see what are the reason notes we are doing it. All that you can see there. Fine. Separate Google account I have to create for this to handle the our trainings and documents and drive stuffs. Okay, that's it from me, guys. Sorry for a bit late delayed. So I just want to wrap up with these things. Okay, okay. Thank you all, guys. Thank you. Any questions you have? Okay. So I'm not really fast, right? So I know it's a crash course, but I shouldn't be fast too. So please stop me whenever you are having a question there. Don't feel that let it go. Don't be that. Stop me and ask a few questions whenever it's really required. Thank you. Thank you all. Bye bye.